What's up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings, aka Zero Fats, coming at you on behalf of epicconversions.com. Hope you guys are all doing amazing out there. We're going to be talking about some businesses that you can start for free. What's up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings, aka Zero Fats, coming at you on behalf of We're going to be looking at some of the positives and the negatives of them. I'm just going to be giving you guys my thoughts on them. I found some interesting articles talking about businesses that you can start for free. And I was just kind of thinking about them. It's funny because you see articles like that put together and they give you a little blurb about a business, and I think it's just meant to kind of spark something in you, spark an inspiration. But the fact of the matter is, man, a lot of these businesses, you're going to have to know a few things. You're going to have to make a few things happen to actually get them off the ground and making money. Here's a prime example. Blogging. Blogging is listed as a business you can start for free. So we'll just start there. Number one, blogging. With blogging, you can start blogging for free. There's free websites. You can start a blog on Wix. You can start a blog on Weebly. You can start a blog on WordPress.com for free. But the question is, how do you monetize the blog? You can become a social influencer by publishing consistently on that blog in an area that people care about. The problem is, honestly, you're not going to pull anybody around you by publishing on that blog. You're going to have to publish on a social network to pull people around you. And then hopefully they trickle into your blog. And then the thing about that is, so what if you push them to your blog or you trickle them into your blog? What's on your blog to monetize it? You know what I mean? Those are questions you have to ask. And it's like, how does this thing get monetized? So with this idea of blogging, yeah, you could start blogging for free. But number one, what do you put on the blog? So what's your content strategy? Number two, how do you monetize it? What's your monetization strategy? And number three, how do you drive traffic to it? Well, if we're talking about completely free, if we're going completely free here, then we're talking about building your authority. We're talking about building social media influence, right? And the best way to do that is to publish regularly on social media, whether it's YouTube or whether it's Facebook or whether it's Instagram or whatever. And is it a free business? I don't know. I think you can definitely start it for free and it won't cost you anything, but you definitely have to be ambitious to make it work. You know what I mean? You can't just, it's a funny thing, it's free to start. But okay, well, what about, the fact that, most people make money online with email, okay? You're going to have to get an autoresponder. You're going to have to make that happen. That's not free. You can make it free. You can get like a MailChimp account, and that would be free. But then you got to be a little careful about how you do marketing with that, because MailChimp gets kind of funny about things like affiliate marketing and stuff. So I guess my point with the blogging is there's a lot more to it than just, hey, you can start a blog and it's free. It's funny that people put this stuff out here like, hey, here's 26 or 30 free businesses you can start that won't cost you any money. All of them are going to require a steep learning curve, right, to actually get to where you're making a full-time living. That's just the way it is. Whether you just spend a ton of time researching free material or you pay money and research paid material, or you pay a lot of money and get a coach, one way or the other, you're either spending money or time on that either way, aren't you? Somehow it's costing you no matter what. In-home child care. See, you figure you start an in-home child care business. Now, first thing that comes to my mind with that kind of situation, if you're doing this for money and that's your job, like that's how you're supporting your family with in-home child care, I would think that you need to pick up insurance. What if something happens? What if something happens? You're watching strangers' kids You're watching people's kids who you don't know. Even if you're watching people's kids who you do know, I mean, I think if you're doing it on a level to where like it's a business, then you're going to need insurance. That's not free. Insurance isn't free, especially for a in-home childcare daycare business. It's not free. In-home dog care. That's an okay, I guess that's an all right business, but it's kind of a weird business too, because if I'm doing this on a scale where it's, I don't know. The thing with in-home dog care is I can only do so many of those. You know what I mean? You can only do so many at a time. It's very hard to scale that business unless you have staff. I mean, how many dogs can you watch? You know? So, I mean, let's think about how this works with in-home dog care. Someone is going on vacation. They pay you to come over and watch their dog or take care of their dog every day for a week. You know, how many can you possibly do? 5? Well, you're not staying in the home. You're just taking care of the dogs. So you're stopping in 5, 6 times a day on that house, and you are what? Feeding the dog, watering the dog, taking the dog for a walk. How many of those can you possibly do a day? First of all, they have to be in your neighborhood. Second of all, you're dependent on how many people actually need those services in your area. Third of all, you're only one person. You can only do so many a day. I mean, very quickly it would get to a place where you'd be neglecting the animals if you try to take on too many. And then you got to ask yourself, well, how many do I need to take on to support myself with a full-time income, right? How many do I need to take on to where it equals like $10 an hour, 40 hours a week? How many dogs do I need to take care of? And you're going to figure out those numbers very quickly don't really add up very good. So it's kind of a funny thing. People throw that out there like in-home dog care or something. Like, yeah, okay. It's not going to be free to get that scalable. Put it that way. It's not going to be free. You're either going to need to take on some employees with the in-home dog care, or you're going to have to get good at advertising. That's the other thing. We didn't even talk about that. But the in-home dog care or the in-home child care, you're going to have to learn marketing. How do you advertise this business? Because trust me, to make it a full-time living, it's not going to work like putting it on the bulletin board at the local library. That's not going to cut it. I mean, not if you want to make it a full-time deal where you're supporting your entire family doing it. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of these business ideas just don't make sense. They're nonsense. It's what they are. It's freaking nonsense. Pet services. Why not start a business that encompasses all the smaller details of pet ownership, such as taking pets to grooming or vet appointments? There again, it's the same thing, man. Unless you bring on an employee or two, you're not going to be able to scale this business. You're not going to be able to take on the amount that you need to support yourself full time unless you're charging an outrageous amount. And then you're going to get undercut by competitors. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Not to mention the fact with pet services and stuff like that, man, I might want some kind of small business insurance. Because what happened? What do you do if something happens to their dog? Like if someone cares enough about their dog or their pet to hire someone to take them to the groomers or to hire them to take them to here, or take them to there. This is someone who gives a crap about their pet. Okay, so if anything happens to that pet while they're in your care, you're screwed, man. You are screwed. So this kind of business, you're going to need at least some kind of insurance to protect yourself. So to say that that's a free business is absolute nonsense. I mean, it's dumb. Dog training. If you're great with dogs, you might also want to look into starting a business as a dog trainer. Be aware that, as with other pet-related businesses, suggestions your business will fare best in an area where demand is high. Yeah. Where there's a lot of dog owners. Yeah, obviously. A lot of dog owners. I mean, come on, guys. Think about it. Just for a second. You don't need me to tell you that this is unrealistic. I mean, I live in a town of 60,000 people here. I mean, how many people can I get to pay me to train their dogs on a regular basis? And how many dogs can I take on a regular basis? Me by myself, one person. How many can I actually take on without hiring other employees, which is going to cost me money, without building my reputation? Let me tell you how this dog training thing works. It only works if you can build some kind of celebrity around yourself. Because if you can build some kind of celebrity around yourself, then you can demand premium prices for dog training. You become like some kind of dog whisperer or something. But the only way you do that is with marketing, generally with online marketing, and just kind of publishing consistently and building a reputation for yourself. And those things aren't free. It takes time and resources and money to build that up. So the idea that you can just, boom, start this dog training business for free is nonsense. I think articles like this are the reason why so many people fail, to be honest. They're not logical. They don't make sense. But they get people excited, and then people just want to run off and do it. And then they run into all this crap, and then they figure out they don't want to do it, and it's too much trouble, and then they fail. They go to the next thing, they go to the next thing, they go to the next thing. It's dumb. Okay. Freelance writing. Are you a strong writer? This one is a no-brainer. If you have solid writing skills, consider starting a business as a freelance writer. Okay, let me give you some insight on that. Okay, I've paid writers to write articles for me. I've paid writers to write books for me. I pay about $100 for 1,000 words from an experienced writer. That doesn't mean an experienced writer. That means someone who can write. They're a good writer, and someone who has experience in the subject I want them to write about, personal experience. Like I hired a guy to write me 10 articles on Amazon FBA outsourcing, wholesaling from China. And I wanted him to write me 10 articles on his whole process. Paid him $100 an article, so about $1,000, right? Now, for that $1,000, I got a writer who was a good writer, really good, and also I got someone who had experience on the topic. Now, if you want to be a freelance writer, you're looking at about $100 per 1,000 words, and that's a good price. That's a good price. I mean, that's a good price. That's a good price. And let me ask you this: how many things are you experienced about? How many things are you knowledgeable about to where you can write from a place of experience? And how good is your writing ability? Are you a good writer? Because you need both of those things. Because if you're a good writer, but you're not writing from a place of experience, you're just researching stuff. Like if I ask you to write me an article about Facebook marketing, free Facebook marketing, and you've never even had a Facebook account before, and you're just going to be coming from a place of research, so you're going to look that information up, and then you're going to try to write it. I'm not going to pay you $100 for 1,000 words. I'm going to pay you much less. I'm going to pay you like $50 for 1,000 words, right? Because I know the article is not going to be as good. There's not the personal feel, and I will know instantly, and so will most other people. It won't have the personal feel. There won't be any personal experiences in there. It'll just be, even if it's well written, it's still going to be kind of didactic in nature. The article is going to have a different feel to it, and I won't pay as much for something like that. So what I'll say with freelance writing is, number one, I hope you have some experience in something if you want to get paid well. And number two, how many articles can you write? Because let's say you're the most experienced person in the world with something, and you just write on that subject. How many articles can you actually write a day? Because let's say you can write one article an hour, 1,000 word article an hour, and you get paid $100, and you write 8 of those a day. That's $800 a day. That's fantastic, right? But can you do that every single day for 5 days a week? Right? Write 1,000 word article a day. And if you can you find the people who are willing to pay you that every single day? To do that, you're going to have to learn marketing. You're going to have to learn how to market yourself. right? And then at the end of the day, you're still not going to be able to scale it, not to the place where you want to. This freelance writing thing, it's a great way to make a little bit of money, you guys. But as far as like using this to start a free business where you're just making a full-time living, supporting your entire family with freelance writing, that's nonsense. You're going to have to like really put in a lot of effort and work to make that happen. And you're going to have to get a little lucky. But a better idea would be to, well, we'll get to that. But yeah, freelance writing, that's fine. You can make a little money with that, but it's going to be a lot of work. Chances are, look, let me tell you something, you guys. Let me say this one more thing about freelance writing, okay? If you're a freelance writer and I'm paying you $1,000 to write me 10 articles for $100 each, you better believe that that property that you just did for me, it's going to make me at least $3,000, okay? I'm going to make 3, 4, 5 times as much as what I paid you for that, okay? So I'm not saying you're being taken advantage of as a freelance writer, but you have to understand, you know, you're just not, that's not a good business. That's a good way to make some money. A good business would be the person who hires the freelance writers. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, that's a good way to make money. That's not a good business model. Just freelance writing for other people. This is crazy. Freelance editing. Similarly, if you have a great eye for necessary structural changes and enjoy editing for grammar, you may want to consider starting a freelance editing business. I mean, it's okay, man. You know, you can edit a lot more than you can write. You can edit a lot more 1,000-word articles in an hour than you can write. But the question with freelance editing is this: how do you find customers? You start a freelance editing business today. How do you find your customers? You know? And I'll leave you to that, because you're going to have to learn marketing. You're going to have to learn how to do marketing, right? You can only post on so many college bulletin boards around your town, or on Craigslist or whatever, before that runs dry, and no one needs your freelance editing services anymore. Especially when you consider how much do you charge for freelance editing? You know, $5 per 1,000 words, $10 per 1,000 words. You got to find the people who care enough that they want to pay that. And then those people who care enough that they want to pay that, guess what? They want it edited because they stand to make way more off of that property than what they're paying you to edit it. And there's going to require so much time that you're putting in to editing each one of those. I think the way the freelance editing thing would work as a business is if you had a team of editors and your only job was to grow the freelance editing business, right? Grow the business. You had a team of editors who did the editing, and that was what that was. And then you actually grew the business itself. But just saying, hey, I'm going to just do a freelance editing business. I mean, you might make a little money, man, but that's not a sustainable business where you're just going to support a family, not for free. I'm sorry, but I just don't believe it. So resume building. Maybe you worked as hiring a manager for years. You know exactly what employees are looking for. Maybe you're a graphic design whiz, love creating a polished, professional-looking resume. Resume building, I don't know, man. I mean, where are you going to find people to pay you to help them build a resume? I mean, you might. You're going to have to learn marketing for that, man. You're going to have to learn marketing, and you're going to have to you're going to actually have to declare yourself as an expert. People are going to have to perceive you to be an expert for them to pay you to help them build a resume, right? I mean, honestly, it's a good service. It's a good service. I mean, everybody should learn about resume building, but I mean, I don't think the perceived value is there. I mean, most people, you know, if they feel like when we talk about creating a resume, we're talking about professionals now. We're not talking about the kid who wants to go get a job at Taco Bell, or the guy who's in his 20s who gets a job at the factory down the road. We're not talking about that guy. We're talking about young to middle-aged professionals who want to get other jobs as professionals, who are leaving one professional job. They've probably been there for 10 years. maybe 15, 20 years. Now they're leaving. They haven't had to get another job for a long time, and they're a professional, and now they're looking for another job as a professional. That's the kind of person who's going to be looking for someone to help them build their resume. They're probably going to start off by looking for software or some kind of online help. And your job would be, how do I get them to feel like they would be making a better move by hiring me than by doing this free online thing? You know what I mean? That's where you're going to have to learn marketing. You're going to have to learn how to become a better marketer. And you'll notice a lot of these businesses, these free businesses, come back to marketing, right? And you'll notice that. And the reason is because that's the world we live in. I mean, if you want a business that actually makes money and is sustainable and scalable, your marketing's got to be on point. And again, with this resume building thing, it's hard to scale a business like this, not unless you have staff, not unless you have other people who help you. Now, what I will say is, if you started like a SaaS, SaaS, like a cloud-based resume building program, and then you marketed that, then you wouldn't require a bunch of staff. Then that would be scalable. However, I'm pretty sure that's already out there. I'm quite sure that's already out there. In fact, I know it is. So then it comes back to, hey, you're in a town full of pizza places and you're opening a pizza place, which is fine. Everybody loves pizza. But how do you differentiate your pizza place from everyone else's pizza place? So that's what I think about this resume building. And I don't think it's something you can just start for free. This might be the biggest joke on this whole list, because I seriously doubt you can start a resume building business for free. I think you could put on resume building workshops for free in your town, and you could use that to build some authority. And then maybe you could sell them a resume building course from the workshops. Like, you put the free workshops on somewhere, but there again, do you have a place to put them on? Do you have a place to actually do you have a place to put them on? Do you have a place to hold these workshops for free? Reserve's asking if this is the library. Yep, this is my downtown library, guys. I'm coming to you live and direct from my downtown library. I got rid of my office. I'm leading a more minimalistic lifestyle. If you guys want to know more about my minimalistic lifestyle that I'm working on, you can check out my daily vlog. It's CamFats. I'll put a link. I'll put a link here if I remember. But it's the CamFats YouTube channel. So I started a new YouTube channel, you guys. If you didn't know that, I started a new YouTube channel. It's not really make money online. It's not really marketing. It's just a daily vlog, basically. And I'm just kind of vlogging my life. And I don't know. I said I was going to do it for a month. My short-term goal is to do it for a month. My long-term goal is to do it for a year. We'll see. We'll see, man. It takes a lot of effort to vlog daily, put it that way. Yeah, that's called CamFats. I'll put it in the comment section when I get off of here, because it takes too long. I don't want to waste you guys' time. But yeah, I'm at the library. Check it out. But they're pretty cool. They got office rooms here you can rent out here, and it's all good. I don't mind it. I like it. It's cool. I'm trying to reduce my footprint on the world. That's what I'm trying to do, if you want to know. I think it's a worthy goal. I still got more work to do, man. Put it this way, guys. I got 3 guitars. Why do I need 3 guitars? At most, I play. I mean, you guys, I used to play music. That's all I did. But I never really made a lot of money at it. That was my big passion for, man, I spent my whole 20s playing music, trying to be a professional musician. But as we come back to it now, in my life right now, I got 3 guitars. I don't need 3 guitars, man. I'm going to get rid of 2 of them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to donate 2 of them probably. I'll keep my Martin. I got a Martin acoustic. I'll keep that, but I'm gonna try to get rid of the other ones. I don't need them. I got a Marshall amplifier. Um, I don't think that I necessarily need that. If I want to play some more like acoustic shows or something somewhere, like at coffee shops or something, I can get a smaller amp. I don't need I don't need that big Marshall for that. I'll probably get rid of that. So I don't know. Some things are harder to get rid of than others. It's weird, you guys. You can't believe the kind of like the subconscious attachment that you have to these crazy objects. Like it was hard. I got rid of all my books, and I took pictures of all my books, and I said, okay, I don't need all these books. A lot of them have just been sitting on my shelf. I haven't really done anything with them. I'm going to take pictures of them all, and if I want to read that book, but I don't have it anymore, then I'm going to buy the ebook version. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I did. And if you're interested more in that story, that's on my daily vlog. I started a daily vlog, like I told you guys, but I'm not done. I got rid of my office. I got rid of my books. I probably got rid of a few hundred books. I'm gonna get rid of my guitars. I don't know, man. I gotta look through my stuff. I'm gonna get rid of my CDs probably. I got a ton of. You guys don't understand. I got tons of CDs. I got over 1,000 CDs, man. Let me tell you guys something. My opinion, you guys probably don't want to hear this. I'm not going to go off on a giant rant about it. But let me tell you guys something. You guys know how records are kind of getting popular again? Vinyl records. Listen, that's nothing compared to what's going to happen with CDs, okay? CDs will make a comeback. And I'll tell you guys why. Because the MP3 is a flawed format. I mean, I love MP3s. I love being able to download them, and it's so easy to download music, and it's so easy to listen to music online. It's so easy to stream music on like Spotify or Pandora or whatever. That's all great. That's all great, and that's how we all consume music right now. But you gotta understand, the compact disc it's a lossless format. All right, there's no loss to that music. The way they can make a music file or a song, the way they can make a song small enough to fit as an MP3 is they take information out of it, small little pieces of information that most of our ears can't hear. All right, they can't actually condense it down. They don't condense it down. They take things out of it to make it smaller. And I'm talking about taking a 40,000. I'm talking about taking a 40 meg, 50 meg wave file that was a song and reducing it down to like 4 or 5 megs. We're talking about something that's 10 times as small as the original. Okay, so if you listen to a song on a CD, on a compact disc, those songs are 40, 50, 60 megs a piece. There's a lot of information in that sound file. It's very dynamic. It's very dynamic to your ear. There's a depth to it. That same song as an MP3 or as something you're streaming, you're not going to have the same depth. Now, a lot of people aren't going to hear it, but it's there. I promise you it's there. They can't crunch something down, you guys. They have to take information out of it to make it smaller. So I'm telling you right now, the compact disc within 10 years, it's going to be highly, highly collectible. You don't find them anywhere right now. They're not making a lot of them. When you go to Walmart, you don't see a lot of compact discs. When you go to Best Buy, you don't see a lot of compact discs because no one's buying them anymore. So they're not selling as many of them anymore. And because they're not selling as many of them anymore, I promise you guys, they're not making as many of them anymore. And when you start hitting a situation where people aren't making that many of something, then they start to become highly sought after eventually. Okay, eventually. So I'm telling you, the compact disc will have a revival because it is the best sound format out there to the general public. When we talk about music-loving customers, people who buy music, there's never been something produced. Music has never been produced on something that was that level of sound quality. So that's the best. I mean, you think about like cassettes, vinyls, 8-tracks, compact discs. They had mini discs for a little while. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm rambling. You guys don't care about that. But yeah, look, if you want to be a collector of something, you want to invest in something, I personally believe you can't go wrong investing in the compact disc, because they're not making as many of them. There will be a revival, and it will be a revival bigger than this vinyl record revival that we're having right now, because the vinyl record is a flawed sound. I mean, it sounds cool. We can say it has a warm sound. We can say it has a more organic sound. We could say those things, and that's fine. But the fact of the matter is, the compact disc is a better sound quality, and that's all there is to it. So it will be back, I promise you. Anyways, let me move on, guys. Logo and image design. If you're artistic and good with Photoshop, consider starting a logo or graphic design business. Yeah, I mean that's going to apply to about 1% of you guys out there. If you're artistic and good with Photoshop, consider starting a logo or graphic design business. It's not going to apply to a lot of you guys. First of all, if you're a graphic designer, you probably paid money to go to school for that. That's a college level situation. If you're self-taught, you might not be good enough. If you're self-taught graphic design, there's a good chance you might not be good enough to run a business about that. I'm not saying you can't go out there and get some work. I'm not saying you can't start up a Fiverr and make money, doing logos for people. But I'm talking about like making enough money to where you could support a family. Like, if you're not pro, like if you haven't been to college and you haven't been professionally trained in logo and graphic design, I mean, look, the people that are going to hire you, most of them are going to know. I would know. I'm going to know if I hire you and you created that in Canva. I'm going to know because I use Canva like every day. Okay, so, I mean, look, I'm not saying there's not people out there that couldn't start this business for free, but for the majority of people, this is not going to be a business they can start. Not by taking some, Skillshare class and just rolling with it. I mean, this is a business that requires actual skill, and like graphic design is a skill. It takes time to master that craft. So that's what I'd say about that. I'm not trying to, buzz kill anybody, but I'm just saying, that's a skill that you have to really train to be able to do well. And another thing on top of that is, once you've learned how to be a graphic designer, my God, I mean, it feels like there's graphic designers everywhere. Every time I turn around, there's a graphic designer telling me they're a professional graphic designer. Whether they've actually been to school for it or not, I don't know. But every other person I see is a graphic designer. It's amazing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that is. But I'll tell you, what I'm getting at is, if you are a graphic designer and you know what you're doing, you're still going to hit a marketing barrier. You have to find a way to pull in customers. You have to find a way to differentiate yourself from all the other graphic designers. And generally, that's either going to take you a lot of time or it's going to take you some money for advertising. Okay? One way or the other, it's got to happen. So that's not free. All right? Start an Etsy business. Have a cost company. Have a cost component associated with starting, like making jewelry or other crafts. I mean, look, with these Etsy businesses, you're hitting the same thing as like with the eBay thing. It's hard to scale it, man, unless you're doing like printables, like where you like are making like coloring books or something, but you're making them in PDF files and you're selling them as something that can be printed off. So they call those printables. Like you're making templates or coloring books or applications or whatever you're making. It's a printable item. So you make it one time and you upload it as a PDF. It's like they can print it off. They can download it and print it off. If you're doing that, well, good on you, because you're smart. Because that's a lot closer to being scalable than just like making freaking crafts and stuff. I mean, making crafts are awesome, but when it comes to running a full-time business, like if I was a painter, Like, and I wanted to sell my paintings on Etsy. Like, I could paint and I could be the best painter in the world, but if nobody knows who I am, they're probably not going to buy that many of my paintings. They're just not, you know? And it's like, I could be this painter, you know, or I could be this, you know what I could be this rocking chair designer, and I could make rocking chairs on Etsy, and like, I make a rocking chair, and I've been making them for like maybe 10, 15 years. So I'm a master at this craft of rocking chair design. And like, I put one on Etsy. First of all, it takes me time to make the damn thing. You know, I can only make one at a time, you know, it takes me time to make it. Then it takes me time to put it up there. And then, you know, what does it look like? It looks like a rocking chair. And then, like, if people don't know who I am, like, they're just going to be like, okay, it's a rocking chair. I don't really want that. And they're going to move on. And maybe they do, but most people just buy a rocking chair at the store, you know? So now I come into this place where I need to design something interesting, you know, something more than just a rocking chair. I need to make my rocking chair stand out somehow, right? Well, that's a whole different thing, right? Because now I'm creative, right? Now I'm not just following a blueprint and making a rocking chair. Now I'm actually doing something a little bit in the creative space. So I can make this creative rocking chair. It's completely different than whatever else is going on. Will it sell? Will people find it? They might, you know, they might, some, they might not, you know, some might like it, some might not like it, you know. But now let me think about this. Let's change this around. Let's take my rocking chair craft that I do, and let's turn me into a social influencer. Let me go out there on YouTube and do YouTube videos where I'm building my rocking chairs, and I'm really opinionated, and I'm having opinions about issues in the world, and I'm talking to people, and I'm like the social influencer now. Now I'm not just a rocking chair guy on Etsy. Now I'm actually this kind of celebrity, like a minor celebrity in this space, and I'm a social influencer. Now my rocking chairs are going to be worth more, and a lot more people are going to be interested in them, right? You know, my skill can be of a lower level if I have a celebrity, you know? And we live in this day and age where anyone can go out there and get a celebrity now. Anyone can go out there and become a celebrity. It's kind of crazy. But the point is, not everybody knows that, okay? And just to say that, like, hey, you can start an Etsy business. Yeah, right. You cats are going to go out there and try to start an Etsy business making jewelry or something, and no one's going to buy your crap. And then you're going to be like, man, how do I get people to buy my crap? Oh, well, you gotta market. Yeah, you gotta market. It's like an uphill battle, man. It's like a freaking uphill battle. It's almost like these ideas are built to get you to fail. They're built to get you to waste a bunch of time on something and lose. Consulting, that's a good business. I'll give you that. Consulting is a good business. The problem with consulting is this. With consulting, you have to get people to believe you, right? You know, could I start a consulting business as a rocking chair builder? Could I coach other people on how to build rocking chairs? I could, but not unless they believed me, right? So how do I get people to believe me? Well, put it this way. I can do marketing for my rocking chair business, so people know that I actually do make these rocking chairs, and I do what I say I do, and you know, then I'm gonna teach them how to do it, and they can do it too, and they believe me because they see that I actually do this rocking chair business. I could, you know, build a social media following, right? So I've got this minor celebrity, and because I've got this minor celebrity, people already know I'm this famous rocking chair builder. And they will pay me so that they can do two things, right? One, spend time with me one-on-one, just because I got this minor celebrity about me. And two, so they can learn how to build rocking chairs. But who do you think that makes the most money? The minor celebrity who people want to spend time with, or just the guy that you found who's doing advertising for his rocking chair business, and he also does consulting to teach other people how to build rocking chairs? Who do you think makes the most money? I mean, I don't have to tell you guys. You already know it's the minor celebrity. So the fact is, if you want to start a consulting business and make it full-time, to where that's all you do is consulting, you're going to have to get people to believe you, right? And that's an art form, to get people to believe that you can actually help them, right? That's the key, right? It's like a whole nother form of copywriting, right? And that's a skill. It's a skill to get people to believe you. All right. That's just the way it is. So consulting, yeah, it's a business you can start for free, but I seriously doubt it's a business you can start without at least buying a few courses on how to run a coaching program or how to run a consulting program, because you might be the best expert at whatever it is you want to consult about, but the art of consulting is its own thing. It's its own thing, and you have to become good at that too. So most people can't just whip it up and start off right off the bat and not be successful to the point where they're killing it. Errand runner or jack of all trades. Errand runner or jack of all trades. Again, come on, it's scalability. How many people can you run errands for all day? Not to mention the gas that you spend doing that. Not to mention the wear and tear on your vehicle. This is nonsense. It's like, this is good for a freaking hobby, making a little extra money on the side, but trying to turn this into a full-time business, it's absolute nonsense. You're going to be freaking running your car into the ground, And plus, how much money do you think people are going to actually pay you to run errands for them? If I was at my house and I needed you to go pick up some groceries for me for the week, I mean, how much is it worth to me for you to pick up my groceries? Maybe $100 tops. $100 tops. Let's say I want $100 in groceries. I want $100 in groceries. Now I'm going to pay you $100 to go pick my groceries up for me. That's $200. I just turned a $100 grocery trip into a $200 grocery trip because I had to hire you. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're an old person and you need someone to go run the errand for you, I mean, you think, well, that makes sense to them because they can't go without you. Yeah, but what about the old people who are on a pension and old people are usually pretty weird about their money. So it doesn't make sense. So like $50 would make more sense than $100, right? So now the amount you're making is less. So you think, like, how many people could I actually get with this errand running, jack of all trades kind of thing? This is one of those jobs where, like, this is one of those businesses where, like, you're going to run into two things. It's hard to scale it because you can only do so much, and it's hard to charge a lot for this kind of thing because of perceived value. The perceived value of you running to the store and getting me some milk, it doesn't feel like it should be worth as much as you need to charge to make this a full-time job. Does that make sense? That's what I'm saying. Because you need to charge a certain amount to compensate for the wear and tear on your vehicle, to compensate for the gas you're going to have to spend running all over the place, and to compensate for your time. So it just doesn't add up, man. Not to a full-time business, it doesn't. Building websites, this is a skill right here. Building websites. Yeah, you can build websites for people, but there's all kinds of website builders out there now that make it very easy to build websites. To me, having someone build my website is a disadvantage, because now if I need to change something, I have to get in touch with that person to change it for me. And that is a pain in the neck. That's not interesting to me at all. That's not something that sounds good to me at all. I've known tons of people who've paid people to build their websites, and when they needed to change something or they needed to adjust some, like they wanted to overhaul, it was a big hassle, man. They had to find someone to overhaul it for them. It was nonsense. Every time you want to do anything on your website, you have to, get someone to do it for you. It sucks. And there's a lot of page builders now out there for cheap or free that allow you to do this yourself. I just don't feel like this building websites thing it's just not logical. It doesn't seem reasonable to me. But there are people out there making money building websites, but there again, they have good marketing. So, I just saw an ad for Wix during the Super Bowl last night. So if you want to start a web building business, be ready to compete with Wix. You know what I mean? Good luck with that. So, and again, it comes back to marketing. How good can you market? Because, who's going to pay you to build their website? Where are you going to find your customers? you know, so you got to get good at your marketing. Programming, there again, that's like a graphic design. How many of you guys are programmers out there? You know, teach yourself to program and build your own app. That's nonsense, man. That's like less than 1% of the population who could start a business like that. And generally, they've had professional training. They have paid money to learn how to program. They've either spent a lot of time learning how to program, or they've spent a lot of money learning how to program. This is not something the average person could start. I mean, it's laughable. Driving for Uber. I just saw a documentary. Not long ago about Uber drivers not sleeping, like just sleeping in their car for a few hours at a time, just so they could, you know, maximize their profits with Uber. As you know, you think about that, why are they doing that? Because they know there's only so many hours in a day, and they're only one person. They can only pick up so many people. I mean, guys, it's scalability. When you drive for Uber, you're hitting a scalability issue. It's not a good business. It's a good way to make some money. It's not a good business. Also, it's not your business. You're renting the business. Uber, it's Uber's business. At any point, Uber could say, you know what, we don't need drivers anymore. We're going with this driverless car technology. We don't need drivers anymore. So sorry about your luck. Get out of here. We're done. Okay. Now, if that happens, then what happens? Your business is over. All right. This Uber thing is a good way to make money. It's not a good it's not a good sustainable business. It doesn't make sense. All right. It's like Amazon. You know, I did Amazon for a while. That was the same problem. You know, I didn't own the business. It's the Amazon's business. I was a renter. The same thing with Uber. Okay. And I already know that Uber is looking into driverless technology. They actually just got sued by Google not that long ago from stealing their patents on the driverless car technology. If you don't believe me, look it up. It happened. So, don't think that Uber's not thinking that. You know, the most money they spend is on drivers. That's their biggest overhead. So they are trying to eliminate that. So you better believe it. Music lessons or tutoring. I'll tell you a better thing to do for this. Instead of driving for Uber for a business, what you ought to do is you ought to make a course about how to make extra money driving for Uber. You know, that would be smart. Do a case study, sell the case study. That would be a smarter business plan. Music lessons or tutoring. I actually did music lessons when I was in my 20s. When I was doing a lot, I was a big musician. I wasn't like a well-known musician, but I was doing a lot of music and stuff, and I was giving music lessons to people. Again, you hit a scalability issue. You can only give so many lessons per day, and not only that. I mean, you're looking at maybe $10 for half an hour, $20 for half an hour, and it's fine, but it's hard to scale it, man, and it's hard to it's hard to scale it to to a place where you're making the kind of mad money that you think about making. You know what I mean? When we talk about making $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, you don't generally think about giving music lessons. I mean, do you know how many? Think about it. Let's add that up. Let's say you give half-hour lessons. Let's say you got your marketing on point. You give half-hour lessons for $20 a piece. Okay. Let's say you work an 8-hour day. That's 16 lessons you give a day. 16 times 20. Oh man, I got to do some math here. Holy moly. You guys probably already know the answer, and I'm still pulling out a calculator. 20 times 16. So that's $320 a day. So, and we times that by 5 days. Let's say you take 2 days off a week. That's $1,600 a week. That's before taxes. You still have to do taxes. So tax is going to take about 38% of that probably. Maybe not quite that much. That might be a little high, but tax is going to take some of that. There's no doubt about it. So you're making $1,000 a week, maybe $1,300 a week, giving music lessons. I mean, it's great. We're looking at like $4,000 to $5,000 a month. But I'm telling you, that's a lot of, man, that's a lot, dude. It's a lot. Not saying you can't do it. You can do it, but still. So I'm just, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is, again, one thing I overlooked was the fact that most people aren't musicians. It's the same thing as programming. It might as well be the same as this programming thing. Most people are not musicians. So if you're not a musician, it's gonna be pretty damn hard to, do 16 music lessons a day with people. I'll tell you one thing about this music lesson thing is it's kind of like a membership program. You kind of get people in your membership program that come see you every week. It's like a membership program. That's one thing I will say about that. It's kind of cool. Very hard to scale this business, though. You can only do so much as one person before you have to hire other people to help you. Language, teaching, and practice. Okay, this is for people who speak more than one language. So that's a cool idea if you speak more than one language. Again, it comes back to marketing, you guys. It comes back to marketing. I think there is a lot of opportunity for people who speak more than one language in places like China, even in Japan. I don't know, man. It's hard. Who wants to pick up their whole entire life and move to another country to teach English? Who wants to do that? I mean, maybe some people do. Maybe some of you out there want to do that. I mean, not me, man. China's a communistic country. It's a lot different than America. But anyways, whatever. Yeah, language teaching and practice. It just doesn't seem very scalable. I mean, think about it for a second. Does that even sound right to you guys? Yeah, man, I made $200,000 last year, teaching Spanish. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. That's not a business. That's a job. That's a job, not a business. So, whatever. Virtual assistant service work, man. It's the same thing with the freelance writing. There's only so much you can do. You're working. It's not a business, it's a job. Virtual assistant is a job, not a business. Right? And you'll know it's a job because you do a task and you get paid. You do a task, you get paid. That's not how a business works. A business works like this. Like I set something up, a system that makes money. With a business, I set up a system that makes money. With a job, I do a task and I get paid. Virtual assistant is a job. House sitting. Come on, man. You're going to make a full-time living house sitting? Really? How many people do you really think need you to sit their house? What happens when you hit a dry month where nobody's going on vacation and nobody needs a house sitter? Then what do? Well, I guess you just don't eat that month. It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. Nonsense is what it is. Stupid ideas, man. I mean, these are cool for making a little bit of money, but not running a sustainable business. Okay. Home organization. Do you love clean, tidy home? This idea of visiting the container. How many of you guys out there are going to pay someone a substantial amount of money to organize your home? To come in and organize things. Home organization services. That's amazing. That's just amazing. How many people out there, how many of you guys out there would pay someone a substantial amount of money? Stephen Bray says he doesn't see me as a rocking chair builder. Yeah. Stephen's seen my vlog. So he knows. He knows what's up. Yeah, I mean, look, how many of you guys are going to pay someone to come in and organize your furniture in your house? I mean, some of you might, but I don't think too many people are going to pay somebody to come in. I mean, in some places, maybe. But there again, if you are paying someone, if I'm going to pay someone to come in and organize my house, who am I going to get? Am I going to get some no-name person who's advertising on Craigslist? Or am I going to get someone who I know? Maybe I've seen a bunch of their YouTube videos. Maybe I know they're amazing at what they do. I've seen the results of what they do. So that tells me if you want to be a home organizer, one of two things need to happen. one of two things need to happen. Kelsey, I see you. I see your question, and I see what you're saying, and I'll talk about that in a second. So one of two things need to happen if you want to be a home organizer. Either you need to build some celebrity, so everybody knows who you are and they know the amazing work that you do, or you need to get really good at paid advertising so that people know who you are and they see the amazing work that you do. And you get really good at targeting the people who actually give a crap enough to pay someone to organize their house, right? And all those things take time and they take money. So the idea of that being a little free business that you can start, I mean, it's like I said, you might be able to make a few bucks doing it, but I seriously doubt you're going to make a substantial income home organizing unless, man, you add some other skills to that. Professional finder. Oh man, now we're just kidding around. Now we're just kidding around. Do you have a knack for finding things? You may be able to monetize the service at no cost to you. People might ask you to find family genealogical information, find classic cars, old records, perfect roommates. Find me the perfect roommate. Okay, right. I mean, look, do you understand? Do you understand that like finding genealogical family information is a skill? People will spend years learning about genealogy and putting family trees together. This is a skill, and man, it's an expensive skill. If you wanted someone to put a family tree together for you, you would spend hundreds of dollars doing that. That would cost you a lot of money to have someone else do the research and put your family tree together for you. Like, if someone wants you to find a classic car for them, like, hey, my first car was a 76 Chevy Nova. Find me one of those in mint condition. Like, that's a whole nother skill. Like, finding family geological research and finding classic cars and finding old records and finding the perfect roommate, those are all separate skills. So the idea of saying you're a professional finder, like some kind of handyman or something, is like, it's kind of nonsense. Because, it just baffles me. It baffles me. It really does. I mean, if I put an ad out there that said professional finder, how many people who want to have someone find information on their family tree is going to come looking for me? Nobody. Because they're going to look for people who are specifically doing family tree stuff. If I put an ad out there that says professional finder, how many people are going to come to me to find them a classic car? Nobody. Because they're going to be looking in obvious places where people seem to specialize in classic cars. It's like a joke or something. It doesn't even make sense. Dropshipping. Oh my God. Dropshipping. Yeah, you can start a dropshipping business. I wonder how many people out there are doing Shopify right now and not doing paid advertising and making money with Shopify without paid advertising. That's what I want to know. If you have a Shopify store right now, how many people out there are making money with that store without investing in advertising? That's what I want to know, because that business is not free. And if we're looking away from Shopify, if we're just looking at drop shipping traditionally, like having companies drop ship for you, this is a complicated subject. This is a subject that there's a lot of scamming out there. There's a lot of middlemen, a lot of people out there who aren't true wholesalers. They're middlemen. Generally, I'm not even going to get into it. Drop shipping I do not believe that drop shipping is a business that you can start for free and boom, you're just going to be making money. I just don't believe it, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to require a certain skill set, put it that way. And most people just starting their own businesses, it's going to require some skills. Okay. Gardening and landscaping. Okay, scalability. Again, you can only garden and you can only landscape so many by yourself. Okay, and last time I checked, you need tools and equipment to do gardening and landscaping. So the idea that you can just whip this business together for free is nonsense. You're gonna have to invest money in it. You're gonna have to invest some money in it. You're gonna need some skill, some gardening and landscaping skill, and frankly, you're gonna need some marketing education because you're gonna have to compete against the other gardeners and landscapers out there. House or office cleaning. House or office cleaning. I think the house or office cleaning and the gardening and landscaping are both businesses where you want to have insurance. So that's not going to be free. Um, if you're getting paid to clean people's offices or houses, and you're doing it on a scale where you're actually making good money, $50,000 a year, you better have insurance in case something happens, you know, in case something's broken, in case they accuse you of stealing something from their home. Who knows, man? Who knows in this day and age? You better have some insurance. That's all I got to say about that. And that's not going to be free, dude. It's not going to be free. Event planning. Event planning. We cover the process of becoming an event planner extensively. How to make money as an event planner. Event planning business can be a great free business to start. You need a computer and capital to create a website. That's not free, man. I mean, you can start a free website. You can start a free website on Wix, I guess. It's nonsense. You guys know it's nonsense. Come on. You guys aren't this dumb. Come on. Event planning. You're going to be planning some events. You're going to run into a scalability issue. That's the real issue. The real issue is not, guys, with most of these businesses, the real issue is not the fact that, oh my God, it's not free. I got to buy a website. Okay, who cares if you have to buy a website? That's not the real issue. The real issue is that you don't scale an event planning business to $80, $90, $100,000 a year unless you have employees. It's not scalable. It's not scalable and it's not sustainable because you just don't, man. You just don't. And not only that, you have to have branding and you have to have advertising budget to get businesses like this scaled up. You got to be able to brand yourself, man. That's where it starts. You know, it might not start with advertising budget. It might just start with branding. But to get your name out there, man, you got to brand yourself pretty well. And you have to start dedicating a little bit of money at least to an advertising budget. I mean, people do want event planners. I mean, they want like event planners for funerals, for birthday parties and things like that. But, you know, I mean, it's kind of like that scenario. You know what I mean? I want to start a pizza place and there's 1,000 pizza places in this town. How can I stand out? How can I get customers, you know? And that's the question every business runs into. And usually it's not free solutions that answer those questions. It's not. I mean, you can dedicate a lot of time to social media and building a social media presence and becoming an influencer, and that can work for you. But that takes time. And many times it's not the kind of time that someone wants to dedicate who's running around doing all these event plannings and everything. They don't have time to do the event planning and to run, you know, an internet marketing campaign. You know, it's two time-consuming tasks when you're doing them for free. So what happens is you have to pay money. You have to pay money to have it done for you, and that makes it not free. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, event planning is one of those things where to reach the people that are smart enough to know they need an event planner, like you're going to have some clout. Because oftentimes you're going to be reaching out to small businesses. You're going to be reaching out to companies who need an event planned, and they hire an event planner to take care of everything for them, right? Now, to reach those customers, man, you have to have some clout. You have to have some kind of branding behind you. You have to look legit. You have to have you have to have proof that you do what you say you can do, because they don't want their stuff to be wrecked. They want it to do good. And the last one I got to tell you guys about was sewing and alterations. Again, it just comes down to scalability. Like a lot of these businesses that they say you can start for free, it's scalability. It's scalability, you know? How do you scale a sewing and alteration business, man? I mean, to scale it, you got to hire other seamstresses. And also, you have to know branding. Last time I checked, people don't buy. Last time I checked, nobody around here is paying anyone to sew things for them. When their pants rip, they just throw them away and go buy a new pair of pants. That's what people do now. So it's a little unreasonable. I mean, to me, if I was going to start a sewing and alterations business, man, I got some work ahead of me because I'm going to have to connect the dots for people why they should have that zipper sewed back on their jacket when it ripped versus just going to buy a new jacket for $50. Why pay me? You know, I remember not that long ago, well, it was like last year, our little girl's jacket, the zipper on it kind of ripped. And, you know, we were trying to figure out if we wanted to get her a new jacket or just have it repaired. So we went to a sewing and alterations place, a tailor. We said, hey, listen, how much would it cost us to just have a new zipper put on this jacket? And it was going to cost us $75 to have a new zipper put on the jacket, to have the zipper repaired. But, you know, the jacket only cost us like $50 at Walmart. So it was like, what do you think is going to happen? We're just going to go buy another jacket at Walmart, right? And that's what most people do these days. People just don't get a lot of alterations done on their clothing anymore. I think that what you could do, what I think might work, is if you specialize in a certain group of people, like maybe really overweight people, you know, buy your clothes at the store, and if it doesn't fit right, bring it here. We will fix it to where it fits perfectly like a glove. That would appeal to a lot of overweight people, or people who have, you know, kind of odd body types where, you know, they're, whenever they buy clothes at the store, they just never fit right. They have trouble finding clothes that fit right. You can appeal to those people, but to do it, you're going to have to learn marketing. You're going to have to learn branding, and you're going to have to learn how to reach out to your target market. And these are all marketing skills, and people spend years learning marketing skills. I spent years learning marketing skills. So trust me, this is not something that is free. I mean, I do not know any marketers who haven't spent thousands of dollars on their education learning marketing, whether that's through $5 course after $5 course, after $27 course, after $97 course, after $1,500 coaching programs. Marketers spend money on their education, all right? So for you to think that you can just, bam, be an expert marketer and start some sewing alterations business where the perceived opinion of the public is, I don't need my crap sewed. I'm just going to buy new crap if it breaks. That's the perceived opinion. So for you to change that in your community, you're going to have to know marketing, and that's it. Anyways, I think I buzzkilled you guys enough. Kelsey says, someone says they're a professional finder. I'd say, I lost my keys. Can you find them? Sewing ain't cheap. Sewing machines are so expensive. 14 years old and I want to make money. It's really difficult because I'm too young to get a job and not seen as very responsible. Yeah, I mean, Kelsey, I think that a good opportunity for a teenager right now, I mean, personally, I think a good opportunity for teenagers right now is, and I say this kind of hypocritically, to be honest with you, I think a good opportunity for people who are underage is probably like social media, YouTube, Instagram, stuff like that. Build up social influence. I mean, you know, you watch like Logan Paul, you watch people like that, and it's like, what is he doing that a teenager can't do? I mean, what is that guy doing that a teenager couldn't do? Jumping around like an idiot, hitting people and just jumping around and screaming at everybody all the time and just making everybody laugh. I think anybody can do that. I mean, maybe not anybody. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I'm saying it doesn't require a bunch of money to create a YouTube channel and just entertain people. That doesn't take any money to do that. YouTube will give you a channel for free, and just get on there and, you know, do your thing, vlog, commit to vlogging every day. You'll probably start to build an audience. I've been vlogging, guys, I've been daily vlogging for, this is my 13th day that I've been daily vlogging, and I've already got 41 subscribers after 13 days. I haven't even been doing it that long. I think that, you know, anybody can commit to that and do it. And the true value in a platform like YouTube is the audience building potential. Kelsey, if you can build an audience, you can make money. That's the bottom line. The core of the audience is the email list, you guys. If you can put people on an email list and they're already part of your audience, then you can make money. You can offer them things that will help them, and you'll make money. Okay. Now, if you're putting people on an email list and they're not in your audience yet, they don't know who you are, like you bought them with solo ads or whatever, you put them on this list, then you're going to have to practice the audience building through email marketing. You're going to have to get to know them through email marketing. You're going to have to tell them stories, give them actionable content with email marketing. And that's how you build rapport with them. But one way or the other, you have to do the audience building, and you have to put them on an email list. If you want to make sustainable income, the email list is key. That's what I would say to that. So, and I definitely think you can do it at 14 years old. I mean, but you know, the thing about it is when you're 14, do you have the commitment required? That's the question, you know, that's the thing. You know, a lot of kids, you know, they're not committed enough to make stuff happen like that. I mean, when I was 14, I didn't have the kind of commitment required to, like, you know, make YouTube videos every day and stuff like that. I just didn't. I mean, but that doesn't mean you don't. I mean, you totally could. Who knows? You know, guys, and I don't mean to buzzkill any of these ideas. It's not that I'm buzzkilling them. I just want everybody to be. I just want you guys to understand. I mean, a lot of the stuff people are putting up is nonsense. It's just nonsense, man. It doesn't even make sense. Here's my point. Okay, when you want to start an online business, or when you want to start a business for yourself, all I'm saying is look at it like a game of chess, not a game of checkers. Don't let someone tell you, hey, you can start a dog training business for free. Oh, cool. Let me run to the library and grab a book on how to train a dog real fast, and then I'll start a dog training business. Like, that's not thinking ahead enough, you know? I mean, with my online business, you guys, I think steps ahead. I mean, steps and steps and steps ahead. You guys, I launched digital products on the internet. I've already planned all my digital launches for 2018. I know exactly what I'm doing this year. I have this whole year planned out. So, I mean, that's what I mean by looking at it like a game of chess. Okay, this is chess. This isn't checkers. This is chess. So plan a few moves ahead is what I'm saying. If I was going to start one of these businesses, I'd want to know several things. I want to know, number one, you know, what am I going to be doing? Number two, how do I advertise it? How do I get people to my business? How do I get things to my business? I want to know how I get things to my business. I want to know how the money is being made. What's the value proposition? You know, what is happening? You know, is the value proposition right? Does it make sense? Like in the situation where you were like an errand runner. I mean, the value proposition didn't make sense. For me to charge the right amount to where I would be making the amount of money that I wanted to make, I would have to charge too much for my customers. They wouldn't see the value there. So it doesn't make sense. So when you're going to start one of these businesses, what I'll tell you guys is make sure that there's value there for everybody. Everybody has to win in business, you guys. You have to have the win. Everybody has to win. The customer has to win, and you have to win. It needs to make sense for everybody, or the business doesn't work. A lot of these businesses on that list, they weren't scalable. So if you're going to start a business like that, you have to say to yourself, okay, it's possible for me to get up to this amount of money by myself if I do this, this, and this. Once I reach that point, my plan is to do this to scale the business. I mean, you have to have that plan in place. That's what I'm saying, guys. And it doesn't take a lot of planning. You can plan that in an afternoon. Plans change. You know, as you go, you adjust, and you might adjust that scalable plan. You might move into a different realm. You know, you might start out with a dog training business, but you might decide, you know what, this is too much damn work. I was going to scale this by bringing on more dog trainers. But you know what? After doing this for a year, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating dog training courses and selling those. You know, and that's how I'm going to scale my business. Okay, maybe 2 years down the road, I won't even be doing the actual dog training anymore. Maybe I'll just be doing dog training for free, and that'll in exchange for allowing me to film the dog training for my courses, which will be where I'm making most of my money. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. That can totally happen. You guys know I interviewed Eric the car guy a year or two ago on this very channel. And Eric the car guy, he fixes cars, but he doesn't charge people money to fix their cars. All his money is made from his YouTube channel and from the courses he sells about fixing cars. He just fixes people's cars, so he has content. He doesn't even have to charge to fix cars anymore. So don't laugh. It can definitely happen. And I think doing the information learning route and doing the trainings is a smarter idea personally than bringing on employees, because when you bring on the employees, then you got 1099s you got to deal with. You got all these other things. All these other things you have to deal with when you bring on employees. I'm not saying they're crazy complicated and you can't do them, but they are kind of a pain in the neck, and they can be kind of annoying. And there is a learning curve to bringing on employees. So that's what I'd say about that. But anyways, guys, I've taken up enough of you guys' time. I don't want anybody to be discouraged by any of these businesses that you can start for free. You can absolutely start a business online for free. But what I'm saying is it's a game of chess, not checkers. Plan in advance what you're going to be doing, you know? At least a year, you guys, at least 1 year. What does the business plan look like for the next year? That's what I'd say. Plan it out. Because if you're not planning it out, you're just wasting your time. You're probably just wasting your time. Just because you make a little money doing something doesn't mean it's a good idea for a business. So anyways, I think that's about it, you guys. If you've had value in this video, if you've gotten some value in this video, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, give me a share. I appreciate all you guys' support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, everybody.